Hello everybody! Welcome back to Josh's Happy Hour. Give everybody a moment to come on into our happy hour. Cozy up to the bar. Get yourself a drink poured and hang out with me for a little while. So this is, I think, our fourth happy hour. And I'm very grateful for those of you that have taken the time to join me. As some of you have astutely pointed out in the comments already, contrary to what I committed to you, I shaved my mustache. So I feel bad because I did say I was going to have that in solidarity to everyone while we were out of work. But what was a stronger force than that was my daughter and my wife insisting I shave it, and losing in a game of Uno last night, and as a result I had to shave it. So no more mustache, although I did put I drew a little mustache on my wine glass, so just so you're still there when I take a sip. So no mustache. I'm drinking just really simple white wine. I'm trying to mix it up. I didn't feel like anything hardcore today, so pour your glass. Let's get ready to rock. So while we're just still warming up here, I wanted to just do another shout out to and call out to our contest we're doing, the Kitchen Beautician. It's nothing more than trying to have some fun while everybody's sitting at home, particularly all those passionate, creative hairdressers out there. So check it out, that competition, or not contest we're doing online. Love to see some cool photos. We're going to share them. So the Kitchen Beautician, check it out on Instagram. And with that, let's get into it. So our topic today is how to improve your business for the long term when you're not in business. And so what we're trying to do is be a resource for you guys and stay connected, but also hopefully give you a few nuggets that you can take back, and so when we are back in action, which I'm confident we will all be, we'll be stronger than ever. And so, it's really, I was thinking about this time and trying to create a metaphor, and I know that many of you can relate to this when you were about to open up your salon. Some of you it was recent, some of you it was maybe a long time ago. That feeling of knowing you kind of had an open date, but not knowing when the furniture was going to arrive, when the contractor was going to finish, you were going to get your license, your permit, when the state board was going to certify you. And so you kind of were planning, but you never knew really when you were going to open. And I kind of feel like we're back in that stage for, this is your second opportunity to be in that stage where you have this time, you're going to open. We don't know if it's in a week, in 2 weeks, in 8 weeks, and who knows when. So what can we do to make this productive? And so what I want to do is go through a list. I actually I gathered this from various resources that we have and friends, and so we're just going to spitball through it. And I guess if nothing else, if there's one or two, I don't expect anyone could do all of these things. You'll go crazy. But some of these require a different amount of effort. Some of these are pretty simple. Some of these are a little more involved. And some of these would be dependent upon how long we're really out and sitting at home. But get ready to take some notes. I think we're gonna have some good ones. So with that, let's start with some physical improvements. And this one's pretty basic, but I think it's a good place to start. I think many of you can probably relate. I know it's just happening in our house. There's a ton of house projects happening, cleaning out closets, doing things that we probably wouldn't do on a normal basis just to stay productive. Well, I think those opportunities are out there for your business. So whether it's literally to repaint the salon, I know that sounds like, man, I'm gonna go paint the salon, but whether it's a family project, you guys can all go to the salon together instead of being shacked up in your house, and literally repaint the business. How cool would it be when your clients came back and they had the salon look different? You could reorganize the salon, whatever that means. Maybe that's the color room. Maybe that's the magazines on your coffee table. But really take a time to spring clean and organize the salon. You could literally re-merchandise your entire retail area. Again, something noticeable when your clients come back to say, wow, this looks cool, it looks different. Maybe it's moving furniture around. So just any type of physical improvement, I would think that we could be, there's a chance we're going to be sitting here for more time than we'd hope. So you might have the opportunity to do some pretty meaningful physical improvements to the salon, especially when you know there's no other time when you can shut your doors this long and get something done without interrupting your business. So this could be a time to do something you were hoping to do for a while. All right, so let's get into marketing stuff. That stuff is pretty simple. So this is all kind of filed into the category of marketing. Let's take a sip. And I know I keep getting these comments about my mustache. Yes, I had to shave it. My wife and my daughter hated it. So, all right. So here's some marketing ideas. First one, again, pretty straightforward, although the details are where it gets a little more elaborate. And this is one that I would highly, highly encourage you to connect with your team on. One of the themes of this will be making sure you're really engaged with your team. But let's think about putting a thorough marketing calendar together for the remainder of the year. It's something you probably always wanted to do, but who the hell had the time? So now you do. It's a really great way to get some creative energy from your team. And so you can think about retail promotions, you can think about service promotions. It might be difficult to know when to start this calendar because you don't know exactly when you're open. So maybe you make the dates undetermined, or you just sort of plan for the whole year, and then depending on when you open, you just sort of plug and play when that happens. So I highly encourage you to make some interactive activities around a marketing calendar or any new marketing idea, including I had one salon that said they were going to implement a membership program, one for haircuts, one for hair color, and one for hair painting. And the idea is, this is going to be a new world when we reopen, and so they wanted to create a subscription business as part of their new offering, and so I thought that was a cool idea. So any new marketing or promotional idea, this would be the time to start planning. Let's talk about your website. I think this is one of those things, once again, always would love to improve, never have the time to do it. My sense is whoever does your website, if you have an outside third party, they're probably also sitting at home. So whether it's upgrading your staff photos, your staff bios, maybe making your service menu up to date, or creating some new offerings, changing it. Any images or imagery you have on your website, maybe they're outdated. Testimonials, I bet this is a great time to get some testimonials from your customers who I know there's been an outpouring of love from clients supporting their salons. So being able to get testimonials from your clients. And then lastly, I know I've been on some salon pages where the products on the page are products they offered 10 years ago and products they don't carry anymore. So even just upgrading that. So any type of revamp or upgrade to your website. It looks like somebody commented they're already doing there, so good job. How about, this is kind of a wild one, but I'd love for someone to give it a shot. And by the way, all these ideas are just ideas. Some of them are not vetted, so just take it for what it is. Having your stylists pick their top loyal clients and doing video consultations to create a long-term beauty plan for each of their clients. So obviously you don't know when you can get them back in the book per se, but to say, hey, we want to just connect with you, stay close to you, but we don't have time to do these meaningful client consultations when we're in the salon. You're definitely not going to have time when you get back open. So why not do it now? It's a great way to maybe even as part of it, pre-book their next 3 appointments. And what the heck, if you have to cancel the first one because we're closed longer than we thought, then so be it. But could be a great way to get some appointments in the book, also stay connected to your closest clients, and just create a beauty plan. Maybe you'll be able to introduce some new services to clients along the way, and they're going to love it. Hey, my stylist called me and did a video face chat just to give me a beauty plan. They're my beauty coach. Let's see. How about this one? This one's an old one, but it never goes out of style. Have your stylist handwrite notes to their top clients right now. Nothing is better than a handwritten note. So I would love to see you guys reach out to all of your core base just to tell them how much you appreciate them, how much you're thinking about them, and how much you can't wait to see them again. If you want to put an incentive or something else in there, maybe you could do it, or maybe that kind of cheapens it. But I think it's a great way to stay connected. It's an old-fashioned model. It never goes out of style. So handwritten notes. All right, I know we're just spitballing here, but that's the idea. We're going to get through all these as quick as we can. How about this one? This is what I'm pretty passionate about. One of my classes that I do, I talk about using images, digital images to your advantage in your consultations versus having your guests just bring you an image of a celebrity and say, I want to look like this, and then you're kind of on your heels. So what I would suggest is, why not update or create, if you don't have one, a digital portfolio for the salon? And you can do it on Pinterest or some other, or you just do it on an iPad. But what you want to do is gather the images. They can be your own imagery, your own work, or they can be just great images you find online that speak to you, maybe some of your brand's images, and then organize them by look. So short haircuts, balayage, red, whatever it might be. And then that way when you're doing your consultations, once you're back open, you can really say to your clients, hey, when someone asks you, hey, I want to look like this famous person, and it happens to be a balayage, and say, well, we specialize in balayage. Let me show you some other examples of this. And then the conversation becomes less about a celebrity's face and more about the actual hair. And you can educate the client based on your own portfolio. It really makes you look like an expert if you've got that preparation. So great way to do it. And once again, awesome way to engage your staff. So have your staff help you on this. Another one, social media. I've seen a lot of your social media. I know you guys are really active right now, so I highly encourage that. The other thing you could do is start to pre-plan posts for when you're open. I think we all understand the power of social media, and at the same time, we all are overwhelmed by how much time it can take, especially if you're behind the chair. Many of you do hair behind the chair. So why not use your team and yourself, create a whole calendar of future posts. And some of them, depending on the post, they don't get dated, and just have a lot of content ready to go. So once you're back in action, you've got this at your disposal. So I think it's time for us to all take a breath and have a drink for our happy hour. Cheers. Okay, another marketing sales idea is My Salon to Me. Many of you are already on it. There's a whole host of things you could be doing to promote retail right now. While you're not open, I encourage you all to do it. If you're not a My Salon to Me salon, reach out to us or your salon business specialist. We'll get you signed up. But you can be in the retail game without being open. And there's a ton of marketing ideas you can use around that, which we have actually a best practice that we can email you. We actually will post it too. So I'll just leave that as a summary. It's My Salon to Me. And then lastly, I would encourage you to go to my first Facebook happy hour, which has an entire idea of ways to make revenue while you're closed. So I don't want to just restate all those, but that one is posted. It's on our Facebook page, so go check that one out. All right, so I think we captured a lot of marketing ideas. Now I want to transition over to what I would just consider in a big heading of management ideas. So these are in no particular order. So the first thing I would encourage you to do, and for those of you that attended the Institute, I would say dust off that binder, because I know what it's like when you're open and you have all these intentions of wanting to do stuff, but it's just hard. You guys are so busy, you're working a full-time job behind the chair, then you're doing payroll and running a salon. This is really powerful time to make you better than ever when you come back. So one thing you could do is to immerse yourself in the reporting packages that your software company has. Many of you have software that have great reports, and in my experience, you don't use them, you don't know them, and in some cases you don't maybe don't understand them. So whether most of your software companies are open remotely, take some time to just learn your own programs and decide which reports you like and which ones you want to turn into like KPI reports or key performance indicators, and make part of the rhythm of the salon moving forward. So really understanding your reports could be a great step in a positive direction for you as a leader and for your salon. Secondly, your financials. I harp on this all the time. If you don't know your numbers and your profit and loss statement, and you're not benchmarking it towards a budget or towards some ideal scenario, an ideal benchmark, you're kind of flying blind. And I think Zig Ziglar's quotes the best: if you don't have a goal, you'll hit it every time. So this is a great opportunity to get some old statements. I wouldn't use anything that's recent because it's probably, as of now, no longer valid. But look at your old statements. If you went to the Institute, you have the materials to actually use the Excel spreadsheets, but understand your numbers. This is a great time to just learn your business better. That could be a good place to start. Another one, many of you have some version of a level system or just pricing tiers, or in some cases it's like whoever wants to charge something can charge it, or many of you are charging all the same price. I think this would be an awesome opportunity to plan and implement a level system in your business. It's most every successful salon in the country has some sort of level system. And so if you don't have one, this would be an awesome time to do it. Your salon business specialist can help you. It's part of our institute, but this would be a great time to roll up your sleeves and get into it. Let's see. This sort of filed this under communicating with your team, but it's general management. I would love if a lot of salons started having group team meetings with video conferences, which I know a lot of you are doing, but specifically around either redeveloping and renewing your mission and vision statement, or if you don't have one, creating one. And what I was thinking when I wrote this is, I think like in a lot of times in life, you appreciate something more when it's taken from you. And I feel like I certainly am in that camp. I suspect you and your team feel the same way. And I think there's a little bit of camaraderie and bonding around the fact that we're all in this tough time together. And I think harnessing those vibes and that feeling to restate or establish for the first time what is the vision and mission of your business, and do it as a group. It might take more than one web call, but what a great way to connect your team while you're not together. And the final product can really help be the backbone of your business into the future. So I would love to see some of that. Anyone's doing some of that, share it with me. I would love to hear it. Let's see. This one is a tedious one. It's not exactly a fun one, but it can be an important one. If you don't have an employee handbook, this is a great time to make one. If you have one and it hasn't seen the light of day in 10 years, it's probably a good time to crack it open and update it. So I think just reestablishing, renovating, or building an employee handbook would be an amazing single thing you could accomplish while you're sitting with your time off. And then having some video team meetings to discuss it and bring it to life. And if you're not going to go so far as to do a handbook, even just some policies and procedures around different departments, whether it's the front desk or other areas of the business, just to create some structure. This is a great time. And again, you don't need to do this alone. Do it with your team. It's a great bonding experience. I mean, obviously some of this stuff you don't want to just let the, this might sound bad, heads rule the roost, I think is the term. But I mean, you want to have some guidance over it, but it should be a group activity, and especially a group activity in terms of rolling it out and discussing it. So I did see a question, should you pay your team for these online meetings? I absolutely would not. I don't even know if that's, maybe legally you need to, but I think in this, the answer is no, I wouldn't do that. If they don't want to join it, so be it. It tells you a lot about them. Let's see. Okay. This is another one. Again, just my answer to should you pay them or not, it's filed, same answer. But one-on-one meetings, I believe, are super, super crucial to the success of your business. And you've probably heard me, I think I wrote a blog about this, but your most important customer, if you're a salon owner, is your hairdresser. So that is literally your single most important customer. And therefore, having one-on-one time regularly is the single best use of your time you could ever have. There's no haircut or hair color service you could do in that time period that would be more valuable than meeting with your team. And so obviously we can't do that now. So in terms of how are you staying connected with your team, I would actually book one-on-ones. And that conversation could be everything from how are you doing, tell me what you're doing with your time. You could a host of things, but one of which I would encourage you to do is to ask them and help them to build, but you maybe hold them accountable with what is their education plan while they're off. Now, they are unemployed. If you've laid them off, which I know in many cases that's the case, you can't legally hold them to it, nor should you really need to. But as a leader and as a mentor, we all could use a little, I think, accountability. And so why not just say, hey, tell me what you're doing to better yourself while you're off, and then maybe you could suggest some things. So there's tons of technical content out there right now. I mean, you guys are probably being overwhelmed by it, including things like what we're doing right now. So there's business content, there's technical content, there's online. You could just go online and learn about the products that you guys carry, just re-immerse yourself in product knowledge, certifications that you could do, and let them tell you what they want to do. And then just connect with them, hold them accountable. So, I'm going to take another sip. that is the extent of my list. My hope with these happy hours is to make them fast. This wasn't very light, but hopefully in riffing we got through it quick and you got a lot of good energy. Someone did just mention in a comment that actually this is a good one, I didn't mention it. Another way you can connect with your team is have a book club. It's a great way to, you have time on your hands potentially to read a book. Why not read the same book, have a meeting and share what you guys learned from it, and maybe what you could bring to the salon when you're open. So it can be almost like a book club and a series of staff meetings all in one. That's a great way to stay connected and also better the salon. So with that, we are 20 minutes in. That should have been enough time to have a drink. And I will finish with saying, I appreciate all of you so much. Just one little small thing, I'm keeping an eye, as I'm sure all of you are, on the new legislation that's coming through Congress. It isn't passed yet. It might change when it gets to the House, so who knows. But what it does look like it's going to happen is all of us, including your team and ourselves, are going to get checks. Depends on your income and whether you have kids and if you're married, how much you're going to get. But it also looks like there's going to be increased unemployment benefits. So I think the net of it is what we should all feel good about is our teams are going to be relatively okay, and we're all going to, for a short period of time, we're given that we've all probably reduced our expenses massively because we're not going anywhere. But I think we'll get through this time that we're off, and I think that's one big sense of relief. I know it is for me and our team. Not that this has been a good thing, or I'm not upset that we're not working, but you certainly want to make sure everyone can make ends meet while they're off. So it looks like that's going to happen. What's unclear is what the small business relief is going to be and how that will work, especially if salons or any business has laid their team off. But go visit my SBA loan Facebook Live, which I did before, if you want to learn about those opportunities. And I will certainly reach out to you again when there's more information on this bill that's passed. And with that, I'll be thinking about you. Thanks for joining. Cheers.